I will never live up to my potential. The dictionary defines potential as something that can develop or become actual, or ground for expectation of success, improvement, or excellence. For the majority of my life, I have been chasing my potential, never seeming to have enough energy, enough talent, enough beauty, never having the right strategy, or not trying hard enough, never quite measuring up to what the world wanted from me or what I wanted from myself. A lot of times, this word, potential, is used like a weapon to cut us down. It's a way of saying, you aren't being the person I expected you to be. You're a disappointment. Sometimes it's meant as encouragement, but it's always a way to indicate that you haven't yet arrived at the expectation of your success. I'm ready to reclaim this word for myself, not as a way to say I'm not enough, but rather as a way to acknowledge that I am limitless, that I am sovereign, meaning that I have a choice in how I spend my time and energy, and it has nothing to do with expectation and everything to do with joy and life and being beautifully, imperfectly human. This is my journey to loving myself fully, despite any relationship to my potential. This is Project 180. I got groceries earlier today, just grocery pickup, so I'm gonna just quickly wash the fruit and put it into the bins I like to use in the fridge and organize the fridge, get my head around the meal planning stuff that I want to do. I had a poster board that was living on this door that was listing the days, like how far I was in or how many days I had left to go. And I have 100 days remaining. And when I was counting up. And now I think I want to do a countdown, like 100 days left down to 1 day left. And I think I'm going to try to fit them on small Post-it notes so that I can just fill all on one board. But that's going to take a little bit of time, and I probably want to turn on a show or pop some popcorn or do something like that while I'm working on it because it's going to take a little time. I still have a few rooms on my list. So my other office, which is, I call the library, I call this one Venom, and then the other one, the library. And I know I'm so blessed to have multiple offices. I also do want to clean up my gaming desk upstairs. I'd still need to cook tonight. We're making tacos. I'm going to try to get it done today because I just feel like this mark of 100 days remaining, let's make the most of it. And I don't want to wake up tomorrow and still be working on cleaning because I thought I had systems down, and then everything kind of fell apart with a few things that were going on, plus a disruption to the schedule by going out of town. And so, not perfect, but I'm getting things done, and I'm feeling so much better about this progress. And so let's keep moving forward. It is currently 4:15, so I probably just need to go do the fruit, and then we'll see what else I can get done tonight after dinner. All right, guys, this room is pretty clean except the floor, which again, I'll just have my husband do. Looking good. My Kanban boards are up. My room is clean. Tomorrow, it's already late enough tonight, 7:30. Kids are on screens. I'm going to take the rest of the night because I have been working so much today. I've got a good amount of steps too, 6,000 steps, which is pretty good for just working around the house. And so I'm going to go play some video games with my husband, and tomorrow I'm going to get back on the bedroom and my vanity. And after that, everything will be clean and ready to go. So really tomorrow morning, the offices were like my number one goal for tonight, because tomorrow morning, I want to be able to get up and follow my new routines. And I struggle with routines a lot because I want so badly for them to be an amazing anchor for me that I could get up, follow the same routine every day. But my brain just does not want to follow the same routine every day. So what I'm going to do is experiment with some different things. I've already been doing some gratitude in the mornings, a little bit of morning pages, and some like meditation, that kind of stuff, very light. But I'm going to try coming into this room and sitting down at this beautiful pink computer that makes me happy as the sun is coming in through the window. And I'm going to set up my Notion, do my planner for the day. So I'm actually going to go ahead and grab my planner and just set it here for the morning. And I'm going to try a morning routine where I check in with my team. I make sure everything's set up for the day that other people are going to do. I know what my plan is for the day, figure out what Kanban board tasks are going to get done, move them to the doing section. And that should only take me about 15 minutes total to get moving. And then I'm going to see how it goes. We're going to see if I can stick to that, check in with Notion. I think part of the process of becoming a new version of yourself is just reminding yourself every day of the person you're trying to become. And then whenever you feel resistance to that version of you coming to be like, oh, I don't want to sit down and do this right now, just continuing to like get into your heart center and say, I release these old patterns. I want to be this new version of myself, and just making that choice. Whereas if we're not aware that the choice is there because we've got life is calling at us, our kids need this, we've got a million things calling at our attention, and we're just going about the day-to-day life, we're not ever taking a moment to remember that I'm trying to make a different choice here. And so then what happens is weeks pass by and we've continued to make the same dang choices that we've made for the past however many years in our lives. And it's not that it hasn't gotten me to a great place, but I am so ready for the next level. And I have to find ways and anchors to remind myself throughout the day of the person that I am trying to become, and that I love myself as I am, but that I am also becoming the next version of myself. It's like shedding that skin of the old and remembering every day that this is a choice that I have to make. I have to choose the new, because nobody's going to come into my life and say, okay, you are now anointed and your whole new life is ready to go. Like, I have to make that happen. And if I just get swept up in the day-to-day of everyday life, it's never going to happen. And I am 80 days into this process and I'm not yet where I wanted to be. And the goal is not like by 180 days, I need to be perfect, but I want to be on the path. And so, you know, today was day 80. I have 100 days left. I'll wake up tomorrow morning and have 99 days left. And I want to make the most of it. I want to, you know, truly make the choices that are going to make my life better, and my kids' lives better, and my marriage better, and my relationships with my best friends better. Like I want my relationship with my body. Like I just want it all to be better. And so I just have to make those choices as often as I can. So I'm going to try to set myself up for success. So I'm going to go play some video games. And another thing I had on my list was to clean that game room desk. So that'll just take a couple of minutes while I'm waiting for George to get in to come play with me. And then we'll game for about an hour and a half. I'll get the kids to bed, do some journaling and things that I need to take care of tonight. And I will see you guys in the morning for day number 81. And I'll share with you some of my routines because I want to be writing every day and I want to be remembering the person that I'm becoming along the way. I'll see you then. Hello, how are you? It is obviously at late afternoon. I have been rolling through all the changes. I have not been doing my hair at all lately, just letting it air dry. So I threw a clip in it. So I have energy coaching coming up, which is a big part of my week that I'm making time for. I feel like I've been in some kind of therapy or coaching since college, so we just keep up with it. I did make myself a little drink in my witch's brew cup, and so I'm getting ready to log in there. So far has been really good. It was so nice to start my day going straight outside before it gets too hot and enjoying time journaling to myself or with myself. George made me a nice coffee and then had some breakfast and went outside with Evie to do some drawing. And that is part of the goodness of the summertime, is just getting to spend a little bit of extra time with the kids, but it also makes the work time feel like I have to really hustle when it's time to go. And I don't really love that part of it, but I love that I get to spend so much time with my kids during the day. So then I spent some time in the other office working on some emails that I had to send, some planning that I needed to do, setting up my Notion, and really just working all morning on the Kajabi move and other things that have been going on and answering emails. And now, finally, I am going to have a little bit of time for myself with this energy coaching. And then after that, George and I are going to play our video game, which I'm also trying to make time for these days. I feel like in some ways, I wish that I could just have this daily checklist that was like, okay, I'm doing this right now. I'm gaming, I'm reading, I'm answering emails, I'm writing, I'm whatever. And I am trying very hard to do that and to have that like discipline and the ability to continue on with it. But sometimes it just feels like, okay, slow down, let's take a minute. But when I get too busy, I'm like, my brain is looking for something to chill out a little bit, which is why I think I used to get into scrolling habits of like, okay, now I need to post on social media after lunch. And then an hour and a half later, I've just been scrolling through other people. And the thing is that there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, except for the fact that after I start scrolling for a while, I get this feeling of like, you're not good enough. You're not doing enough with your life. Why don't you have that many subscribers? And it just is a place, it might not be a problem for you, but it's a problem for me, where it's a place that I start to compare myself to other people's results. And so I think there's just a hard line that I have to draw with myself of like, I can consume things that for a little while, but if my brain starts to go into comparison mode, I need to cut it out and be done with it. Oh, I don't think I showed you guys. We went to this lavender field during my mastermind retreat last week, and we got to like cut our own lavender bundles, and then she dried it, and I wasn't sure it was going to make it home in the plane. I put it in my suitcase. I was afraid it was going to get totally smashed, but it survived, and it's so beautiful. So I need to find a place to display that. But anyway, I think one of the big keys for me is, number one, trying to remind myself first thing in the morning of who I'm trying to be and why this is all important to me. And saying to myself, like, if you're tired, rest if you need it, but don't give in to self-sabotage because you're afraid. Remind myself what I'm trying to do. Number 2, stick with my schedule, like check in with my schedule throughout the day. Like, here's the to-do list. Here's the things on my Kanban board. Here's what I'm trying to accomplish. And every time something, including my own brain, tries to pull me away from that agenda, I need to say, okay, what choice are you making? Are you going to allow yourself to do this? Or are you going to get back on track? How are you feeling? And just always checking in with myself, because I've had times in my life where if I just tried to push through no matter how I'm feeling, I eventually burn out and then I can't do anything. So that's not always the best possibility or the best choice. But I've also had times in my life where if I just let myself be lax, like whatever comes to mind today, let's just let go where the wind blows. Like, I'm going to try my best to be a writer, then nothing gets done. And so there's got to be a happy medium there for me of like, how do I check in with myself like once an hour or as soon as a task is done and say, okay, what am I choosing next and why? And how am I feeling? How can I honor myself and my body and what my brain needs right now, while also showing up for my goals as best I can, and starting to like have that inner conversation with myself, but then also reminding myself every time I'm trying to make a choice that like, don't burn yourself out, don't push too hard, but here's who you're trying to become and this is what's important to you and don't forget it. Does that make sense? I don't know. So far, so good. Let's go to energy coaching and hopefully not cry today. Right, baseball game time. So I'm kind of running around. George and Andrew have already left and I've got Evie. We're going to go get a coffee. Double checking that I have my keys. So I've got the keys to the car. I'm going to take my Kindle bag. This is the Hello Cleo bag. I love this bag. So I'm just going to throw my Kindle in it in case we end up waiting for a little bit for the game to start. And we have, it's over 100 degrees today. So we have like cooling towels. We've got a fan that sprays water. We're going to have a good time. Hopefully they're going to win. We have not lost a game yet this season. So let's hope we're going to win. But I think that one of the toughest things about truly trying to change your life in the midst of everything is it's so easy. Like my energy coach today said, you can just get hypnotized by your life. And it is so true. Like, life is so good, but it also moves so quickly. And there's always one thing and then the next thing and the next thing. So reminding yourself and remembering, oh yeah, I'm trying to make changes. I'm trying to make myself better. And so much of that happens inside your mind at all times. So I'm working on that. I'm working on loving myself more, because I got to stop looking for love outside of myself. I got this babe that I can love forever, right? I love you. Okay, let's go win a baseball game. It's day 84. I have 96 days remaining. And when I started this vlog, so we're going to kind of jump timelines a little bit. When I started this video, it was day 80. And the desire to restart, because I feel like those 80 days were not everything I wanted them to be, was so strong. But I'm not restarting, because I'm going to see this through to the full 180 days, because this is not about perfection. This is about changing my life. It's not about a video series. It's not about counting the days and trying to hit some system or anything like that. It's like, when I go to the core of why I'm doing Project 180, it's because I want so badly to change my life, to really feel like I'm doing my best, my part to live up to what I feel I'm capable of. And it is so difficult. Like the intro that I recorded for this that you just watched about potential, I actually recorded a month ago. And I spent hours upon hours editing this video that was over an hour long. And it was really raw and really vulnerable, and I never posted it. So I know many of you have been emailing me and asking, like, where's the next Project 180 video? And all I can say is that being vulnerable online when you're really trying to change your life is not easy. And I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but it was really hard, because I thought, I want to be able to show that I'm making progress. And I feel like anyone who's trying to change their life, like truly change their life, is going to have moments of being down in a valley. And I could not get myself like pick myself up out of it. And so it didn't feel very like hero's journey of me. And so I couldn't post it, but I am going to share with you some of that video because I think it's important to see the low points and the things that I'm struggling with. Like there are no shortage of glow up and get my life together in 30 days kind of videos here on YouTube, but this is not a glow up, what I'm trying to do right here. This is not just like, hey, let me get some better systems in place, although that is part of it. What I'm really trying to do with Project 180 for myself is I'm trying so hard to change the internal landscape of my own mind so that I can pull this potential that I feel like has been living inside of me my whole life so I can actualize it and become it and create the life of my dreams. And I know that I have come a long way. Speaking of coming a long way, one of the fun things that I started doing earlier this year, I don't know why it took me so long to do it, is on the back of my phone, my Kindle case, anything like that that can have a clear case on it, I have started putting little vision boards on there. So I have like my Shadow Demon Saga, a picture of me. I put a little crown on there, my Kindle, money, and Disney World, and all of that. And then on here, I also have a little quote that I grabbed from Pinterest that says, yes, you may still have a long way to go, but my gosh, have you seen how far you've come? Sorry if you can hear that. George is doing dishes. My gosh, have you seen how far you've come? And I'm trying to, as I navigate this 180-day journey, I'm trying to stay connected to my future and stay connected to that goal of who I want to become and who I am deep down. When you pull all this trauma off of me and all this self doubt and all these limitations, who am I at my core? And then also stay connected to that past version of me who would have stepped through a portal into this life and been so proud of how far I've come. It's like I'm kind of tethered to both. And I'm here in the middle trying to make my way, like on a tightrope from one life to the other. I don't know if that makes sense, but I did make a list of some of my wins because we are, 80 plus days into this journey. And there have been wins, even if I haven't been fully recording them. And I am going to try now that I feel like the deadline and we're getting to the halfway point. So 180 days, midpoint is 90 days. I'm on day 84. So we're going to talk today. I'm going to show you a little bit about how I've been getting things together for the next 90 days, I guess you could say, in my house and in my mind and things like that. And I'm also going to share with you some from that vlog that I was too scared to post because some of those things that I recorded, I feel like are important to share, even though I chickened out the first time. So I'll share some of that. So this is going to be a little bit all over the place. But as I look ahead to the final 90 days of this journey, which will get me to October 28th, right? Like 29th, I'll be right there towards the end of October. I really want to take like that moment to acknowledge here's how far I've come. Here's the progress that's been made. Here's where I'm still struggling and here's where I'm going to focus. And I think almost on a daily basis I need to do that where I'm like, okay, here's acknowledgement and gratitude for how far I've come. Here's like wake up call for where I want to be. And then here's my trajectory moving forward. And the more that I can remind myself of that, the better and more successful I've found that I'm going to be. So, my energy coach that I worked with this week, she was like, it's so easy to get hypnotized by our own lives. And this is so true that we're just going through the motions. Like, I get up at this time, I have to get the kids ready, I have to do this, somebody's going to call me, I have my job to go to. It's like we have these things that we do on autopilot and we can't be present and aware every single moment of every single day. And so we just do the best we can. But so much is always pulling on our attention, in addition to the old patterns and the old, like, I feel sometimes like in my brain, there's a trench that's been dug. And it is very difficult sometimes to pull myself out of that trench because it's an old habit of a way that I've been thinking for so long. It's like the Grand Canyon being carved out by the way that I have consistently seen myself or thought of myself and my own potential and the things that I'm doing in the world. And it is difficult not to, when life starts just having a mind of its own and pulling me in directions, it's difficult to not just fall back into that trench and keep walking it the way I have for 50 years. So I have to actively have the energy and the motivation to pull myself out of that mental trench and get myself into a better place. And that is really what Project 180 is all about for me. And I am trying to create an experiment with systems for how do I keep reminding myself to pull out of that trench and to dig a new, like, positive trench. Is this landing? I don't know. It makes sense in my own mind, but it's like if you've been walking the same trail forever, that is going to be the trail that you naturally go back to when you're in survival mode. But when you are trying to change your life by necessity, you have to kind of get off that trail and start blazing a new trail. But that takes more effort. And it's not like we just have life to pause. It's not like I can just say, okay, this, I'll tell you this conversation with my energy coach, who I think of kind of like a therapist right now, was I was saying, I wish that I just had somebody would just hand me $1 million and I could take a year off, or, I could take a long time off if I needed it, as much time as I needed, so that I could just truly only focus on this and not have to navigate all the other things that are going on in my life. And I could just pause at life so that I can focus on myself and these systems and getting them going. And she left me a voice note after our session, and she was like, I know that is what we all think we want, is for life to pause and just give me a damn break so I can get myself together. But truly, we don't, that wouldn't serve us the way that we think it would. She said, she's like, we have to be able to navigate these mental changes and figuring out who we are and who we're going to become in the midst of life, because life is always going to be busy. Life is always going to keep going. And this was part of I shared this in my Instagram stories, I think, the desire to kind of restart the 180. And I know, let me know in the comments that I'm not alone here, but sometimes when you start like a 6-month project or whatever, and you feel like you've gone a little ways into it and you're not where you wanted to be, or it's harder than you thought, especially as somebody who's like always thinking of the future. I'm number one futuristic in my Clifton strengths. I am always thinking about, like, if I could just have that fresh start, the future would be better. And the truth is, like, my husband came into the room when I was talking about that, because I knew I didn't want to restart, but uh, there's a desire to get a fresh, clean slate. And he was like, but you would just start over and life would still be lifing. Like, there's not going to be a moment where life pauses so that you can have 6 full months of only focusing on yourself. Even if you're trying to make that priority, you're still going to be a mom. You're still going to be running multiple businesses. You're still going to have a PTA and all these other things that are going on. And so you have to learn to navigate it. And so that has been a theme. And I think that it gets so tied in with the word potential, because there's this feeling of like, if I could only focus on myself and I could truly just transform into the best version of myself, what would I be possible? Like, what would I be capable of? What would my potential be? But there's also this like cloud over the word potential, because it's really so often used as a way to put us down, of like, if you would just be different, less difficult, if you would just were a little bit smarter, or you tried a little harder, you would be capable of so much more. And it's often this judgment stick that people place on us to say, like, you're letting me down. When people say you have so much potential or you're not living up to your potential, it's just always felt like another way for someone to say you're a disappointment to me. And if you could dig down deep and go harder and you could be more and you could be better, then and live up to my potential. Now, I'm saying this as a daughter of a narcissistic mother, right? I fully understand that is my perspective. And some people might be like, I don't understand what she's talking about. But it has always felt like if I could just be a better person, I could finally live up to that potential. But no matter, the irony of it is, no matter how much I achieve or how hard I keep pushing or keep going after dreams, it's never enough, right? It's never enough. There's no ceiling to the word potential. There's always more that you could possibly be achieving. And so it's can either be a tool for inspiration, or it can be a tool for complete disappointment and always putting yourself down no matter how far you've come. So my determination, like my desire over the next 100 days or whatever it is, 96 days, is to be in both places at once, to really be present, those three places, to really understand how far I've come and to be sitting in this moment right now grateful for how far I've come, for who I am right now, and to not allow that feeling of disappointment of I'm disappointing viewers, or I haven't had the right videos, or I haven't sold as many books this year, or whatever. Like, try to just feel grateful for how far I've come and all the effort and work that I've put in, regardless of the outcome, but also to see and dream of what I could someday be, and allow that to feel like it's pulling me into the future with excitement and in motivating me, rather than feeling like it's some judgment stick by which I'm never living up. So, anyway, here's some of my wins for the past 84 days. A huge one is that I have this glucose monitor. I wear the Stello glucose monitor, which is tied to the Aura ring. So I've got multiple pieces of tech that I have been using to keep up with my progress. So I've got the Aura ring, which is it's a ring that has an app that goes with it, and it measures your sleep quality. A lot of things that the watch will track, but it tracks even more. So this is tracking my stress levels, my resilience levels. It can tell me when I'm getting sick. I'm tracking my cycle here. It's tracking my blood pressure stuff, heart health. There's various things that this ring is tracking. But through this company, Aura, I was able to get the Stello glucose monitor. So I have this on, the continuous glucose monitor at all times, and I am pre-diabetic. So I am like I was at a 6.0, I think it is, last time I had my A1C checked. And my average glucose for the last 80 days is down 15 points. So like I was in the 140s, not like A1C, but my actual average glucose is down 15 points, which I feel like is a massive win, because I've gone from definitely pre-diabetes range in my average daily glucose down to what is considered a more normal range, but I want to bring it down even more. But that is a huge win. Another win is consistently getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep, which is what my body really needs. And for a very long time, I wasn't even, I think, allowing myself to get that much sleep, because when I was younger, my mother made me feel very lazy, and she would be very angry with me for sleeping. And this is why I try to let my teenager sleep, because teens really do need a lot of sleep, but I was made to feel really ashamed of needing sleep. And so I was only really allowed to sleep maybe 6 hours a night as a kid, unless I was, getting yelled at for it. But I always felt like I was someone who just, my body needed more sleep, and the ring is confirming that, like, 8 to 9 hours is really my sweet spot, and so I've been consistently getting that and giving that as a gift to myself. I've been truly present with my kids, so I know that I have not even updated you guys since we went on our beach vacation, so I'll just put some photos here. We drove down to South Padre Island, and we had the best time together. We had a lovely trip. My son turned 14. We did a sandcastle class. We went on a dolphin sunset cruise. We spent a lot of time together. I had some incredible experiences meditating on the beach, which I'll share. Actually, I know it surprises nobody, but I got a new planner and I did an unboxing. And let me know also if you guys want to see like a mid-year planner lineup. I've had a few requests for that, but I've been more truly present with the kids. We've been spending more time outside, more time at the batting cages with Andrew, more time just like doing my nails with Evie, doing some coloring with her, spending time just no phone, hanging out with her in the back porch, or hanging out with Andrew and having real conversations about high school coming up. And that has been a big win. On the business side, I moved all my courses over to Kajabi. I've been on Teachable since 2018, and it has been a great place. It has served me well, but there's some things moving forward in the future that I needed some other features that Teachable didn't have. And so that is a big check mark on a long-term business plan, and it has been months in the making. So thank you so much to George and my team for making that as a huge step forward. I had it as a bit of a win that I was writing more consistently. So I started writing 2 hours a day, and I was really working hard. And at first I was working really well. Then I was like, this story is going off the rails. I don't like it. I threw it away. It was like, I'm going to work for 2 hours a day. And I was doing it really consistently. And then I went to a business mastermind I was gone for almost a week and I have not written since I've gotten home. And it's like, oh my gosh, okay. So it's a win and a loss. It's on both lists. Okay, clean and organized home more often. I put in parentheses, but I have been more consistent about keeping the house clean. Like when we went on our vacation, the house looked so good when we got home. And I love that because so often I come home from vacation and the house is a mess from packing and being busy. So it felt really good to come home to that. And I've been more consistent about that. But it's another thing that fell off when I had to go away on vacation. So we're getting it back. I have clarity on a solid plan for 2027, like the rest of 2026 and all of 2027, like business plan. I have more clarity on it and I'm feeling really excited. I feel like it's solid. And this all came out of this mastermind retreat that I went to at Lake Pepin. I'm in a mastermind that I've been in for years, and it's a small group mastermind. We're all 6 and 7 figure business women, and so we meet up once a year. And so we met up in Lake Pepin, Wisconsin, and it was so good. And then I also was able to meet up with one of my subscribers, Rawson. Thank you so much for meeting up with me in Minneapolis. And then I had dinner with Becca Syme and Roland. During that trip, I came up with a lot of really fun ideas for 2027 and reaching my own level of potential and fun. I also have had some clear mindset shifts, and we'll talk about that in a second. I'm worrying less, which I don't really have a way to fully measure that, but I just am actively working on my mindset. And I think like that is helping. It's not perfect. It maybe never will be, but I'm catching myself more often when I'm having negative thoughts or I'm having worried thoughts that aren't actually even true or logical. And I'm calming myself and grounding myself through things like meditation and EFT tapping, and which I thought I wasn't going to do tapping anymore, but I'm trying it again. And I feel like it's slowly but surely being helpful. Going outside a little bit more, but that's also kind of on my struggle list. My hair is growing. So I have multiple chronic illnesses that I struggle with. One is PCOS, which is now called PMOS, and that causes a lot of hormonal imbalances and things like that. So, one of the things that got triggered through PMOS and pneumonia and stress levels is androgenetic alopecia. And so my hair was coming out by the clump, like handfuls. Then this time last year, I went to a hairdresser and she was just chatting away. And I had told her, like, no shorter than this because I don't like my hair to be very short. And she's just chatting away, chatting away. And she just cut my hair so short. And I was so upset about it. And because my hair was falling out and not growing, it was particularly traumatic, even though I know it's just hair, but it has taken a very long time for it to start growing in. But I feel like I can finally say that between a red light cap called Revian, some hair gummies called Tress Tresse Tress. I don't know. I'll see if I can link them down below. They have like pumpkin seed stuff. My hair doctor, dermatologist, has been helping with supplements there, as well as trying some new hair products. I think my hair is looking a lot better and it's finally growing again. So that's a win. I have another chronic illness that I've been put on a new medication for. This is something else that I have. It's like an autoimmune issue, and it's finally under management. I've been in a lot of pain for several months and finally found a medication that's working. So that feels like a big win. Even just allowing myself to go to the doctor and talk about it and get help was a big win in and of itself. And so we're continuing on with that. I have a surgery consult next week that I have been trying to schedule for months and months. So that's another issue, hopefully going to be dealt with. And I have been gaming more. So my husband and I are playing EverQuest 2. This is something that came out of that beach trip. And I hate that it has been taking me so long to update you guys. That's why this video is so long. But we were in South Padre Island, and 20 years ago this summer, I met my husband playing a game called EverQuest 2, which is an MMORPG similar to World of Warcraft, but better in my heart. I know, don't come at me. but we have not, obviously been able to play in years. And the game's not like brand new. It's obviously a very old game. But they opened a new server this summer, the week that we were at the beach. And I was like, George, can we play? And he was like, I will play with you, but you have to promise to play with me at least once a day. Because in previous years, we have gone to play together and I haven't been able to do it. I'm like, there's all these other priorities. So we've been doing it, and our son Andrew is playing with us, and it has been really fun. Andrew hasn't really been playing with us recently because he's doing his own things and he's about to start high school, but it's been a fun summer playing that game. And last night, George and I hit level 62, and I'm a tank, I'm a shadow knight, and George is a healer. He's an inquisitor. And we're having so much fun together. I have never played a Shadow Knight, which, considering I write shadow demons, is a travesty, but I am loving playing this character. But just having that creative time where I'm not working, I'm not thinking about work, I'm just having fun with him has been really good for my mental health. So those are my like wins over the first 84 days of this project. Difficulties, despite working on my food and glucose and things like that, I don't feel like I have that much more energy like I want to. So I think it's just a longer term thing. My hormones are still out of whack. So I have another thing that I have called the rhythm, and it is like a little blood test that you put on your arm. I actually have my second month to take it now. And my iron levels are really, really, really low. My testosterone is high. There's just hormones and other things are out of whack. And so I'm working on that. But I can't seem to really lose any weight. And weight loss is not the main goal, but I carry a lot of weight in my stomach. And I just would like to not look the way that I look every day. I'm trying to love my body more, but also I would love to fit into jeans and be able to wear what I want. But I've made improvement, but I haven't lost any weight. I'm struggling to get my steps in and to get more movement. And it's mostly a time priority thing. Like, you can only have so many priorities at once. And I've been struggling to like manage all my business, my kids, my mindset, and get the workouts in. Uh, Struggling to get outside as much as I want to. I definitely need better systems for content creation because I'm still not consistent the way that I want to be. And I need to be writing more. So I told you it's on my wins list, but also my struggle list. I want to be writing every day. And I really, really would love to have 3 books out this year. But we are coming up on the busiest time of year between, we've got HardyCon coming up, and then we're going to launch tickets soon for HardyCon digital, like virtual conference. I have Publish and Thrive is open right now. Link is down below if you want to join us. So I've got launches happening. We have the Kajabi move. And this is kind of where this sheet comes in. So I have these big sheets that I do my plotting on. And this is kind of at the heart of why I had a bit of a breakdown when I was trying to film my last vlog in this June, yes, a month ago, because I decided that I was going to sit down as part of my Project 180 and I was going to take my plotting sheets. This is like engineering grid. It's like, I always forget the size of it. And I was going to create an overview of my business. Like, I have 2 main businesses. I'm an author, Sarra Cannon, which really is kind of like 2 businesses because you're the writer, but you're also the publisher and the marketer and all of that. So as an indie author, it's more like more business than if you were traditionally published. Then I have Heart Breathings, which is YouTube channel, Instagram, all of that, as well as courses and a membership. And then I also have all my health stuff. And so I was writing it all down so I could get this eagle eye view of where I want to go and how I'm going to organize it. And I kind of started to describe everything that was on here. And as I was doing it, my mindset flipped from just being authentically me, talking about all the things that I have going on, into worrying about what people who were watching me would have to say about it. And I immediately started sort of apologizing for how much I have going on. So I'm going to play let's play some of that because even though this video I know is going to be pretty long, I think I'm ready to sort of share what that was. And it's going to feel very dramatic because I was just, when you're trying to change your life. But part of why I wanted to share what I've got going on is because I feel like I was saying earlier, YouTube is full of glow up videos, like how I'm getting my life together. And the essence of it is just like, uh, nothing against 20 something women. If you're 20 something, great. But there's a lot of videos about like 20 something women who are already in really great shape, who don't have kids or other, things like people that live with them, just like working out more and eating green juice and salad. And I like watching those videos. They're fun and aesthetic and great. But my life looks nothing like that. And I have businesses I'm trying to run. I'm the sole income of my family. I'm a mom of two. I'm on the PTA. Like life is really full. And I wanted to show what I have going on, to show what I'm dealing with while also trying to change my life so that you can feel seen. Because I know that a lot of people here have full time jobs. You caretake for people, you're moms, you have pets, you have a million things going on in your life, and there's very little time to actually carve out for yourself all the things that you want to be able to do. And so I was showing like the fullness of my life so that I can also get my mind around how I'm going to put together systems to manage all of this. But you'll see what happens to my brain. So let me show you this clip of what I was going through in June. Oh my gosh, I am going to interrupt the footage here and I'm going to tell you in real time what happened now that I've had a few days to reflect on it, because this is exactly the kind of thing that I want to catch when it's happening and train myself not to do. This is a big part of this life transformation. Is here's what happened. As you guys were watching, I knew that I needed to get my routines and other things going. I knew I needed to prioritize writing, but I just had this feeling as someone who likes to have an eagle eye view of everything that's going on that I needed just a big sheet. So I did all this work. I was explaining to the camera all the different things that I have going on that I'm trying to plan. And it felt very authentic. It was just me sharing what I'm doing. But somewhere along the line, maybe it was when I looked at the timer and realized how long I had been talking, my brain started going on a different track in the background as I was talking. And it went something like this: there's going to be people who are going to say you're doing too much. You've been talking too much. You've been sharing too much. It was almost like this little version of me inside my body just went knocking on the door like, wait, you're taking up too much space. You're going to annoy people. People are going to think you're doing too much. People are going to judge this and you're going to see it in the comments and it's going to be hurtful. So you need to soften this so people don't think that you're trying to tell them that they're not doing enough, or that you go ahead and you need to acknowledge the fact that this is ridiculous, that you're taking on so much, or that you have these two businesses, or that you have all these responsibilities, and that you want to manage all these social medias. You need to let people know that you are aware that they're going to judge that, and to almost apologize it and soften it so that you won't get hurt when somebody in the comments says, why are you trying to be two people? Why are you trying to do so much? I'm so tired of watching you try to do all these projects. And it's like those voices of judgment and projection have gotten so much in my head over the years because I have allowed it to hurt me, because it makes me think I'm not loved, or I'm going to lose people, or I am not going to be popular enough because I'm being too much or taking on too much, and people are going to judge whether or not I'm successful at it. And that has been in my head on repeat for so long that when I caught it, like this little person knocking on my brain, I immediately went into, now I know some of you are going to say this, and I know some of you will think this. Now let me defend myself by saying, but this is just who I am, and I actually like to be busy, and I whatever. And I don't have a full solution for this other than to just talk about it and journal about it and try to figure it out, because I feel like it gets so freaking complex. Because if I don't say that, then there are people who will try to hurt me, or who will project onto me and will say, you're doing too much, you're being too much, you're taking on too much, you're not even good at the things you do, you're probably a terrible mom. I've gotten that one before. You probably spend no time with your kids because you're trying to do too much. And Y yeah, maybe I am, but this is truly who I am, and I always feel like I need to defend that, or I need to explain myself, I need to prove myself, and this has been going on for my whole life, that I was always an achiever. I was always trying to be in the band, president of the debate team, in the Spanish club, in the choir, running one act plays and singing in the church. Like, I've always been that person, and it never was from like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just always true to me. I always wanted to do those things. I know there's a piece of it that's like I felt like I needed to prove myself and I needed to be good at those things because my mother expected me to. But there was also another piece of where if I was too good at them, I would be punished for it because my mom would, I think, feel like I was outshining her or something. So it would be like, that was my thing. You can't have that. Like, you can't be a good singer because I'm a good singer. Like, when I decided that I wanted to write a novel, one of the things she said to me was that I was stealing her dream because she wanted to write a novel. And so I lived kind of in this place my whole life where I had to stay in a box, right? It was like I needed to achieve to prove myself, but I couldn't achieve too much because then I was shining too brightly and it was going to make other people feel bad. And you know what? Screw that. I am so tired of worrying about who's going to feel bad or who's going to be triggered by me taking on too much in my own dang life. Like, I just I have true compassion, and I love everybody who watches this channel. Like, I truly want you to succeed in the way that makes you feel good, but I also have to be allowed to do as much as I want and to take on as much as I want and to live fully the full expression of who I am and to let my light shine as bright as it can and to be able to fall down on my face and fail at something so that I can learn the lesson that I need to learn. I have to be able to just be my full true self, or I'm going to live my whole life in that box. And I do not want to live like that anymore, where I feel like I'm have to push myself to be the best that I can. But if I go beyond it and I accomplish too much, or I shine too bright, or somebody feels threatened, I'm going to be unsafe. And so I have to pull myself back and sabotage because it's always this feeling of like, go, 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 go. Up, you're taking too much, you're being too much, pull yourself back. And I'm just not gonna live like that anymore. I am going to just be my full self. And I saw that footage. I knew it after it happened. I realized, oh my gosh, you've done it again. You've tried to apologize, you've tried to defend yourself, you've tried to explain yourself. And I don't have a full solution, like I said, because there are some people who want that explanation, that want you to say, that yeah, you're making a mistake, or oh, I know some people are like this, so please don't take it this way, or let me make all the different caveats. It's like, I want to be a compassionate and true and authentic person, but I want to be able to do it on my own terms, and I want to be able to just do as much as I want and take as much on my plate as I can that makes me happy and that makes me feel lit up. And I don't wanna take anything on my plate that I feel like I'm doing to prove myself or to dim my light. I know I can't explain it as fully as I want to, but that was something that I caught myself doing this week when I was recording, and I thought, "No, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm cutting that part of the recording out, and I'm gonna add something different. I'm gonna change that behavior." And I'm hoping that stopping that, interrupting that pattern, observing that pattern is gonna help me break it. Doesn't mean I can't still be compassionate. It doesn't mean I can't still give some caveats. We're not all plotters. We don't all need grid paper. We don't all need 2 different businesses. We don't all need to have kids. Like, everybody lives their own lives, but honestly, that should just go without saying. Like, anything you see someone doing online is not them telling you this is how you should also be. And if you feel that way, that's something you're struggling with, right? We need to be able to just be who we truly are without it feeling like a personal judgment if you're not like me, right? I don't know. I don't know. I'm working through it. I'm working through it. And this is part of the danger, or raw and realness of sharing this as I'm going through it rather than like 6 months from now being like, I just went through this journey in private. I'm sharing it in real time, which means catching behaviors that I am not sure I fully understand, or I'm not sure fully how I'm going to embody it in the future, but just catching it and saying, this is not how I want to be anymore. This doesn't serve me or make me happy. I'm doing this to please other people, not to be authentic to myself. And I just want to change that. So little bit of an interrupt there. Back to our regularly scheduled program. So, yes, I know that's dramatic. A big part of the work that I'm doing is catching those mental blips when they happen of like, oh, I'm editing myself. I'm apologizing for who I am, even though I'm allowed to be whoever I am. And even though some people will criticize it, I have to just be able to be who I am. So anyway, that was, I know, dramatic, but also very vulnerable. So please be kind in the comments if you can. And if not, then, I will deal with it. But I want to actually show you what this business overview looks like. So this is going to be take 2 on that. Dun, da, da, da. So this is the overview that I made in June after we got back. So this is about a month ago. And I have made some progress on trying to figure out my systems, but I think that the next couple of weeks are going to be pivotal with this. So we're going to just go over it as quickly as I can. These are all the things that I'm trying to balance and manage in my life, and it is a lot. And I know that I can do it. I need more help. I need more systems. And I'm going to figure it out. I'm determined to figure it out. So here's all the things that I'm juggling. So on the Sarra Cannon side of it, this is my author career. I have 31 books published. I am halfway-ish through book number 32. So I have front list, and I did color code these to a degree with these cute little stickers. And I do, of course, I did spend some time figuring out like mild liners that match each of these. So I'm extra like that. But anyway, front list is writing routines, marketing and ads, publishing, coming up with an arc team, getting character arc, and releasing and launching the books. So that's like the stuff that needs to happen for my front list. And front list is just books that are actively coming out, whereas backlist are books that have already been published. So these are the tasks I'm focusing on here. I need a better writing routine. I need to focus on learning ads, and I've never used ads in my marketing. I have sold over 1 million books, all organically, and I would like to start adding in some other tools and experimenting with things for fun and trying to get my books out there more. And I want to rebuild my ARC team and things like that. On the backlist side, I want to clean up a lot of my files. So Project Phoenix is a project to basically redo my files, get new blurbs, get new covers, redo the taglines, new graphics, hooks, funnels, things like that. I'm actively having audiobooks made of my Shadow Demon Saga, so I need to start getting those published more. Sales tracking, new covers, things like that. Broken Chapter Society is my membership for my reader side of things, and I have been running this on YouTube for a long time, 2 years almost, but I really want to move it to Patreon, so I'm going to be talking to that group about it. But I want to start a better email list, get a website set up, and I want to be creating more exclusive content for that. Then I have social media and admin stuff. So I want to get better at batching. I need a better reader magnet for my series. I need to be sending out my newsletter more often, and I need to send people book updates on my social media. I want to be like right now I have Facebook, I have a page, and I have a Facebook group that's about 5,000 members. It's really engaging, but I want to build this up even more. I have a YouTube channel over there at Sarra Cannon. We do a live coffee chat every Friday. I read my books live over there. We have shorts and stuff that we do. I have a Discord server. I have an Instagram account. I have a newsletter, and I have a blog. And I would like to start a TikTok account. I think I have 1,100 followers, but I've never posted. So I would like to start posting over there. And then bonus income and things that I want to do for fun, like Kickstarter, special edition. I do have a merch store, and I would like to learn more about Shopify and taxes and stuff like that. So that is one business. And obviously this is enough for a single person to do. So I probably need to hire a team member who's just dedicated to the author side of my business, not the heart breathing side, but I'm not there yet. My second business is Heart Breathing. So it's this YouTube channel, all my courses, things like that. So that involves YouTube and social media. So I have a YouTube channel, I have an Instagram, and I have Facebook, which has several groups, the Heart Breathing's writing community. I have a group for each of my courses, things like that. And I want to get better about creating my content calendar. I really have a goal of hitting 100,000 subs. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, help me hit my goal. Come join the family. I need a better batching schedule, and I need a better process for putting all of this into Asana. Courses, I told you we've just moved to Kajabi, so I can kind of mark that off. If you're an alumni, you've gotten some emails over the last few weeks or so. So go looking for those about that move, but it's been pretty seamless. The biggest downside has just been that new students have to go back through the drip like old students have to go through it with the new students. So anyway, but come join us for Publish and Thrive. I am also moving some of my newsletter stuff to Kajabi. I need to work on, I would like to redo HB90, but this is probably a 2027 thing. And then we have, Rough Draft Challenge and things like that are going on. Membership and events. So we have the Follow Through Fix membership, and this is going to be transitioning to something new, I think, like similar but new in 2027. We have HardyCon Live happening in October and HardyCon Virtual happening in December. So I need to launch that. And I was thinking about potentially starting a second YouTube, or I guess third YouTube channel that's just for live streams, but I don't know. Admin, I have website design that needs to get finished, customer support, address update. So they changed my box number from 419 to 119, and it's on the bottom of every email and every single video. So I want to get my team to go update that. Planners and affiliate stuff. So I'm an HB90 planner. I want to create a writing planner for 2027. I have merch store for Heart Breathings, and I'm an affiliate for multiple events. So I want to come up with better systems for like tracking all of that. So I have this second business. I do have a part-time team. I have an operations manager and I have a VA team that help me mostly with this side of the business. But like I said, as I continue to build my team, I really want a part-time person to be helping only with book stuff like Kickstarter and backlist and management over here. But then I have best life in this column, like glucose, my glucose percent, my fitness, my beauty and confidence in myself, my sleep, all of that is here. Home routines for how I'm getting things clean and decluttered and maintaining all of it. I want to buy less stuff so that I have less stuff to declutter. And I want to really have maybe someone that I hire to come in and deep clean once every few months or whatever, once a quarter maybe. Spiritual growth, journaling, meditation, daily routines, reading, energy coaching, those kind of things to really work on the spiritual side. So this is all the things that I am currently managing. But there's a lot of balls that still get dropped because I don't regularly post a newsletter for Sarra Cannon. I'm not posting on Instagram the way that I want. So part of my goals for the next 96 days is how do I start to build systems and routines around this? How do I get support and help so that I can actually manage and do all the things that I want to do without it being something that I have to work as hard as I am now to maintain, if that makes sense. All right, so what's next? What's next? The house is clean, the Kanban boards are up, I have my business overview, Kajabi has been moved, the course is launched, we're making progress. Every day doesn't feel like progress, but when I zoom out and I look as an overview, but also I have 96 days remaining and I want to make the most of it, but life is not going to pause. Life is not going to slow down. We've got school starts in 2 weeks. My son is going off to high school. We just went yesterday to get fitted for uniforms and he got his hair cut and he just looks like a man and it's emotional. It's a lot. I'm on the PTA board for next year, which is going to be a lot of work as well, but I really want to be volunteering and giving of my time in ways that aren't about work and that join in with the community. So I'm adding that to my best life areas PTA over here. And it's just going to start moving fast. We have August will be kids starting back school, running Publish and Thrive. September will be getting everything ready for HardyCon. And, next month, we're also going to be launching, if you want to join the virtual HardyCon, and getting everything settled for that. But I want to finish a book too. So there's like part of the work that I'm doing right now is how do I keep and maintain a positive mindset, think about the ways that I actively need to work on my own confidence and really loving myself, like, I think the number one place that I need to spend my attention over the coming weeks is that over the course of my life, I was taught so clearly that I needed to look outside myself for love. And that if I was a disappointment in any way, that love would be withheld from me. It was very conditional. And so I was always trying to think, like, how much more can I do? How much more can I prove myself? And then I would go out and I would push myself and I would work really hard. And then I would come back and be like, is that it? Do you love me yet? And then it would always be a disappointment, or I outshined and I did too much. So now I need to like push myself down a little bit. So then I would sabotage and I would come back and be like, how about now? Do you love me? And it'd be like, you're a failure. You got to work harder. So I was always in this push and pull cycle. And even though I'm not in that anymore, I have recreated that in my life in various ways. And so, a big part of my work personally and internally is, how do I just get that love and validation from myself? How do I stop looking to the outside world to tell me that I'm enough and that I'm loved? But also, I do still want to achieve these goals, not because I want to be validated or loved, even though I think that has been a part of it in the past. I want to kind of separate that, like the achievement, from the self love, and say, I want to achieve these things because it's fun and because I want to, and because it's an experience I want to have, and because I want to have an impact on the world and like do great things and bring positivity into the world and change people's lives. Like, I genuinely want to do that. But regardless of the outcome of this membership or this income or this YouTube channel numbers or anything, I still love myself. Even if I was categorically a failure at all of these things, I want to be able to look inside and say, you did good. I love you. Even if I don't seem like I'm living up to some arbitrary definition of the word potential, to just be like, fundamentally, I love myself and I don't need external validation to love myself. And coming from that as the core of who I am. And that takes work because on some days I can access that and I can be like, you're doing great. You're great. I love you so much. And then there are other days where the outcome or the work I did doesn't feel like it was enough, or I don't feel like I'm getting things together in the way that I need to. And I'm judging myself based on that external outcome or on the criticism of others. And then I feel like I'm worthless, even though I know it's not true. It's just this mental chatter. And I'm trying to heal that every day. I'm trying to heal it every single day. And I don't know if I can do it in 180 days, but I'm actively working on it. So that's one piece of it. But life is not going to slow down just because I'm working on myself. So I have to also try to work on what routines can I put into place. So I will have another video hopefully coming up next week where I'm going to actually share with you, like, for the last 90 days of this project, here's the routines that I'm implementing and experimenting with in order to manage all of the things that are on this list. And so I'm hoping I can share that with you guys next week. But I think that this video has been long enough. And I will also say that the minute you decide that you want to really heal and you want to work on things, the universe, I think God is going to put things in your path that are like, okay, here's this thing that needs to be healed and that's going to come up. So for me, it was not only an illness that was like, you need to be forced to rest, but also the death of a mother-in-law. And that has had reverberations through this entire experience. But also, something happened back home to the family that I'm estranged from. And I feel like that is pulling up all these things, because even though I am estranged and to them, I either don't exist or I'm the bad guy, it's still, things happening to a person that has my childhood and their memories and has a piece of my heart forever. And I'm trying to navigate all of those emotions, those big feelings, while also running two businesses and all the things that you saw that I have in my life. And I know that some things are going to fall through the cracks just by nature of doing too much, but I'm trying so hard to sort of close that gap between where I am and who I know I can be, and trying to figure out, am I trying to achieve that to prove that I'm lovable, worthy of love, or is this something I really want? And I'm sort of the same way I'm decluttering pieces of my life, I'm decluttering pieces of my own brain and my own mindset. And it's hard, y'all. It's hard. So if you're going through a similar process and really wanting to change your life, we're in this together, because it's never going to be perfect. I know I'm never going to be perfect. I'm going to be flawed. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to disappoint people. I just really want to be able to say, when I look in the mirror every day, I love you. You're doing great. Don't give up on yourself. You're worthy of love, regardless of if you're a disappointment or not. Whether you reach your potential or not, you are worthy of love. And I want to feel that in my bones. But I have 96 days remaining of this particular 180-day cycle. And as of yesterday, I have 6 months exactly until my 50th birthday. So 6 months from today, I will have already done and celebrated my 50th birthday. And I want to keep my eye on that and say, who do I want to be when that day hits? And am I doing the best I can to work every day, not toward proving that I'm lovable or proving that I'm reaching some potential, but am I working every day to being as true to myself as possible and loving myself as much as I can, so that I can have so much love for myself that I naturally love my life and the people around me, and they feel that, and they feel like that's permission to love themselves too. All right, you guys. Thanks for being around. Hit subscribe. Come join us in Publish and Thrive. And I'm hoping I will be back next week with more about the actual routines and the things that I'm doing to manage all of this, and also work on my mindset at the same time. And also let me know if you want to see a mid-year planner lineup. I'm definitely going to show you my new Vanderspec planner and talk about what happened at the beach when I was meditating, because it was magical. But otherwise, cheers to you. Have an amazing weekend. Love yourself. You're worthy of love just as you are, regardless of potential or how everybody else sees you or what you feel like you've accomplished in your life. You're worthy of love just as you are. All right. All my love to you. Bye.